Good morning, Columbia. Welcome to the Fran Halloran Show. I am Fran Halloran. Thank you for tuning in today. Brian Leonard and I will be here until 10 this morning. As I always like to say, you have lots of choices when it comes to what you're listening to, when it comes to the radio on Thursday mornings from 9 to 10. And I appreciate the fact that you've chosen to spend a little time and listen to us today. I'll do my best to make it worth your while, and as I always promise, we're going to do everything we can this week to do a little better than we did last week. For those of you who might be new to the party, maybe you're tuning in for the first time, I need to just kind of tell you a little bit about me. I'm actually involved in a number of business ventures in Lexington and the Columbia in the Midlands, and have a number of licenses in the state of South Carolina that allow me to sell investment and insurance products. If you want to know more about that side of what I do, feel free to Google my name in Lexington, South Carolina. You will find all kinds of stuff out there on the internet about me. But when I come to you on this radio on Thursday mornings from 9 to 10, where we kind of preach logic on fire, I'm serving in an entirely different capacity. I'm a Dave Ramsey financial coach. Yes, I am a Dave Ramsey minion. As a matter of fact, and I may have said this a week or so ago, I was recently at a men's function for my church, and a gentleman came up to me and said, I understand you have a radio show. And I said, yeah, I do. He said, what do you talk about? I said, well, we talk about money and coaching with money and finance and investing. He said, Lord, I hope you're not like that Dave Ramsey guy. And I said, well, the truth of the matter is, if you don't like Dave, you probably don't like me. But anyway, I am what Dave and his team in Nashville call a pro coach. That's actually the cheesy title that they've given those of us who've gone through their Master Series financial coach training in Nashville. It sounds so crazy. All it means is I sat in a room and got taught how to do this stuff for 5 days in Nashville. And when we come to you on Thursday mornings from 9 to 10, we're here to offer you solutions to your financial issues without any fear of a sales pitch. The plan we use is very simple. We call it intentional planning, and it works for anyone who has a desire to live life differently. You have to be willing to modify your behavior. If you're not willing to modify your behavior, well, this isn't going to work. I'm just going to tell you. And all of this comes from a very simple piece of scripture in the book of Corinthians. It says, all things should be done in an orderly and fitting fashion. Now, the great thing about our plan, folks, is that you don't need a lot of money to do this, and you don't have to buy any kind of proprietary software or some kind of fancy investment product to make any of this work. If you ever talk to someone who says you need some proprietary software or some fancy financial product to get on the road to financial freedom, run, and run very quickly. They're scamming you. You don't need to buy that kind of stuff to get yourself out of debt and to have financial freedom. You have to have a desire to change your life. And we profess through Intentional Planning Group, you can find us on the web actually, that's www.ipgsc.com, ipgsc.com. We profess through Intentional Planning Group that is just as simple as what we talk about on the radio every Thursday. Get some coaching. That's all you need. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. But if you want to talk with someone at IPG, 792-1045 is the IPG hotline. You can call it anytime, day or night. There you can hook up with coaches who can teach you and motivate you so that you can reach your goal of financial freedom. That's enough of all that nonsense. As I always like to say, we teach logic on fire. I mentioned that already. The show is supposed to be interactive, and we understand it's 9 o'clock on a work day. It's hard to call if you're listening to us at work or if you're listening to us at school. I get that. But if you'd like to call today, the number is 799-8255 at 799-TALK. You can reach me by email at coachfran@makethepointradio.com. You can go to Facebook, Intentional Planning Group. And again, of course, you can text 792-1045. That's 792-1045. And to that point today regarding what we'd like to call interactive radio, I want to see if I can generate a little interest with our question of the day. This one's a little different, and it was born of a thought I had the other day. So the question of the day today is this: what is your favorite memory of giving? What's your favorite memory of giving or charity? Maybe someone did something unbelievably kind-hearted and charitable for you. Maybe you did something unbelievably kind-hearted and charitable for someone else. I'd like to talk about that if any of you are interested in it. What is your favorite memory of giving? What is your favorite memory of charity? During the first segment today, I do want to get to the inbox. Got a bunch of great emails last week. But before I do, as always, I want to give you a little roadmap. In the second segment today, we're going to talk a little bit about an incredible young couple that I met with last night, getting married in June of 2015. And what I'm really impressed by with this young couple is that they have decided that not only do they need a little pre-marriage counseling, but they've come to us for some pre-marriage financial coaching. What a great idea. What a great concept. We're going to talk a little bit about them and that whole idea of pre-marriage coaching in the second segment. In the third segment, that's a bunch of crap moment. My friend Graham loves it when I say that. We're going to talk about car leases and their ridiculous terms. Folks, if you're in a lease or a fleece, as I like to call it, you got to get out of that thing. And finally, in the final segment, fourth segment today, we're going to talk about needs versus wants. I'm amazed at how many adults can't seem to get this concept right. They confuse their wants and their needs every single day, and it's not that tough to keep the two separated. So let me get to the inbox. Coach Fran, should I borrow money for a new car if I can get the loan at 0%, especially if I'm making 9% in the market on the money that I have been saving for my new car? All right, so let me go back over this because I love it when I get these questions, because what it really is saying to me, what they're really doing is challenging my position of not being into borrowing money. So should I borrow money for a new car if I can get the loan at 0%, especially if I'm making 9+% in the market on the money that I have been saving for my new car? No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't borrow money. Now, I am not necessarily against borrowing money in all aspects of one's life. I don't think there's anything wrong with borrowing money to buy a home. And I have an email about that. We'll get to that in a moment. I don't think there's a problem with borrowing money. But my question to you is, why would you borrow money if you already have the money in an account to buy the car cash? I get it that you're playing the numbers game, 0% interest, and I can use my money and it can make more. I get that. But what we're really talking about here, folks, when we're talking about borrowing money is risk. How much risk are you willing to put yourself in? Because when you borrow money, you're exposing yourself to risk. Brian just gave me the countdown. We'll talk a little bit more about this email and a couple others on the other side of this break. You're listening to the Fran Halloran Show on The Point, Columbia's local talk radio experience. We'll be right back.